Hello there. Welcome to the show once again. This is Leadership 360. And of course, you know that even though we discuss leadership issues, there are developing issues, especially with us here in Nigeria. And so we'll be taking one of such, which is the postponement of the February 14 and 28 election in Nigeria. How do people feel about it? Is the government right to have shifted it? Is there a sinister plan on the part of the ruling party? Has it affected our economy? How has it affected it? All these and many more we'll be discussing today. I am Olatunde Ajayi Ogbe. I have with me in the studio today, immediately to my right, Edem Osai, a legal practitioner, a policy analyst, and she's the founder of Mentors Initiative. She's a leader in her own right. Edem, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
To my far right is Aderopo Egbeleke, a peace and conflict resolution expert, a youth activist, and a development consultant. Aderopo Egbeleke is also the country director of International Peace and Education Advocate. Aderopo, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. My first salvo will go to you, Edem, because you are a legal practitioner. What are the legal implications of this shift?
Well, from a constitutional point of view, because Nigeria is governed by the rule of law, and our rule of law is spelled out in our constitutional provisions. The Constitution makes provision for the possibility of shifting elections, but it clearly states the circumstances that have to exist before that sort of extreme position is adopted. In the Constitution, it says that in a situation of warfare, in a situation of war, where a nation is confronted with war, that is one situation where the Constitution accommodates possible shift in elections. At the same time, the Constitution also within which elections should be conducted in any nation, in our country, and essentially it places a ceiling. It gives a 30-day limit. It says you cannot conduct elections anything later than 30 days to the end of that's to the expiration of the term of the sitting administration. So legally speaking, this shift is still within the ambit of the law, in the sense that we projected the new dates that have set do not go beyond the 30 days the 30-day limit. That is, we hold elections now set at March 28 and April 11, and we're able to do resolve all our records and outcome of the elections. We essentially will not breach the May 29th. There has to be 30 days before May 29th.
Okay.
So essentially we have a limit of April 28th.
Okay.
Beyond which we cannot go further. Otherwise you will have an illegitimate situation and an aberration, something that the Constitution has not construed.
So technically the election can still be shifted till April 28 is what you're saying, and will still be within the ambience of the law.
Yes, well, as long as we don't cross the ceiling is 30 days, no later than 30 days to the term of expiration of the sitting administration. So if you do your mathematics and all your equations, and as long as you don't reach the 30 days, you go and keep going on up till April 28th. But there are, of course, logistics to consider in terms of election. So nobody really, people it's more advisable, and nations in times past, best practices suggest that you leave a window, to resolve all those. You don't go and try to hit your exact time limit. Leave a window for any miscellaneous or exceptional situations.
Thank you very much. Mr. Aderopo, one of the reasons why the INEC chief, Professor Aderopo Egbeleke, gave why shifting the date of this election is insecurity. And you being a conflict and security expert, would you say that Jega is being truthful or is being economical with the truth, given reasons of insecurity?
Well, if we want to look at it from from the advice of the service chiefs, that we cannot guarantee security when we cannot election because we cannot mobilize. We all know quite well that elections that we have had so far in this country happens to be because of the presence of every military men. We cannot trust our policemen. We all know how these touts and hooligans, fighter, all these nonsense things, how they came into slash ballot boxes, and we can see how military men dealt with them in 2011 and even past elections of those states and all those stuff. Of course, we are not saying that the military is only a section of the security community that can guarantee election, but the presence of the military is very, very important. Okay, now the military are busy, engaging in counter-insurgency warfare against the Boko Haram and not. And for the past 2 weeks, we have been achieving significant victories against Boko Haram, and any security experts or anybody in the security field be advised to maintain that momentum because we are winning. Of course, now that we have the regional forces of 4 countries and AU, they are also sending 8,000 troops to the country to support our Indian country. You can see that we are gaining more territories. And why can't we maintain that momentum and gain more territories so that people can vote? I get it. But if we are not secure and can you guarantee the lives of the INEC officials that want to go to those places? I think it is right for in that times of security when we are winning. If we are losing and we are not, if there is no result, yes, I can say it is irrelevant. But now that we are the upper hand, we are repelling Boko Haram, and we are defeating them, they are losing high numbers, then we should maintain that momentum. In fact, go all out as we are doing. But if we relax again and mobilize our military and send them back to election, I think Boko Haram will come back again.
Thank you very much. But here is the point, Edem. When you were speaking, you spoke about if we are in a state of war. And we are not or am I the one that is not getting it? We are not in a state of war. There are insurgents in about 4 states of the nation. We have 36 states in Nigeria. So, Robo is positing that the government is right to push and to shift the election. Do you agree with that?
Well, I have several issues when you raise this particular question. First and foremost, this insurgency situation, like you rightly stated, does not, essentially, it's not a war situation. In fact, if we look at the situation in Darfur, if you recall the conflict in Darfur, Sudan, where there was a huge crisis that lasted for several, very prolonged crisis. One of the issues that, of condemnation that was raised against the international community was their failure to label that crisis a war situation. If despite the death toll, despite the, areas affected, the international community was very wary of labeling that situation as war. So essentially, nations, before they label a situation as war, because you see, when you admit to warfare, there are many international, there's so many, there's huge dimensions to the situation of warfare. Essentially, you're saying that governance is crippled and we're focusing on attacking the enemy, that sort of situation. We're faced with an internal insurgency situation. We have insecurity within our lines, but our government has never wanted to come up to indicate that has suspended all normalcy in the entire state called Nigeria, so that for us to be able to focus on it. So there's no declaration of war. What we're facing is an insurgency situation. Secondly, this is an insurgency that has existed for over 4 years.
Okay.
In fact, if people want to really count the clock, you will say, some people go as far as to say 6 years plus, because this was something that this administration will keep hearing they inherited. It didn't start upon except when they entered office. It's something that they met on the ground. So it's something that has existed in Nigeria for a long time. Again, you look at when INEC disclosed or published their timetable to the Nigerian government. You're talking about over a year. Now INEC, published a timetable within which elections should be conducted. INEC, I noticed that there's a tendency for people to, ascribe so many powers to INEC. The role of INEC is to conduct elections. Essentially, they go to the place, they do all the logistics that are necessary for you to come and pass your vote and go away. INEC is not responsible to secure, you understand, the environment within which those elections will be conducted. That is why they work in conjunction with the military and all the security apparatus of the nation. Now, INEC gives you a timetable. Essentially, everybody is put on red alert or on notice that for this situation to take place, or for this proposed elections to hold as at when due, which is spelled out in the timetable, then all of us must essentially do our part, fulfill our own mandate, whether it is security, whether it is those who are responsible to disburse disburse or give them allocation. Everybody must fulfill their own role and function to ensure that that timetable is met. So INEC did not tell us that they wanted to conduct elections a month ago. They told us a year ago. This is an insurgency that we've been grappling with for far longer than even when INEC indicated their timetable. My, basically opinion on the matter is, I believe that having known well in advance the projections, the time projections spelled out by INEC, all the measures that you're suddenly announcing to the Nigerian public that we wish to take now ought to have been taken. All the military interventions, all the meeting with neighboring countries, the Chads, the Cameroonians, the Nigerians, all those neighboring countries whose forces are suddenly allied now to tackle this common enemy and this affront to elections, should have been mobilized far beyond a week to elections. So what we're suggesting is the facts were not suddenly sprung up on us. We were not faced with a situation of surprise. It is something that we adequately ought to have prepared for. Again, I take you back to several headlines that we have been confronted with since this whole subject of elections came up. People were constantly asking the questions. Journalists, policy individuals, researchers were asking the questions. Look, we see insurgency raging in the northeastern part of the country. You're talking about over 11,000 displaced individuals. What strategy do you have in place to ensure that the elections will hold? More than, but those are the figures that official figures they keep trying to release. So what strategy do you have in place? And constantly we kept being reassured by the government, not just INEC. INEC made it contingent. INEC said we will be able to conduct elections if security is guaranteed. I remember those statements. And at the same time, the government kept saying nobody should be worried, elections will hold in the northeastern half of the country. So a situation where these questions have already been raised, you have addressed those questions, raised the confidence of the people, given assurances on those subjects, then to suddenly 1 week to the time take us back to the issues that you have assured us over. It's
Edem, you are getting
those are the things that are difficult.
I enjoy your submissions, and I enjoy the fact that sooner than soon, we went on the street before the program to get how people felt. But before then, I want to ask Rocco. He is a security expert and a counter-terrorism expert. In fact, I read in one of your theses that you had visited those areas. Now, I want you to tell us and tell the viewers, is it true that could this be a machination on the part of the government, or you that have witnessed what was on ground?
Well, I think I agree with what Edem just said, but it's going to be based on the fact that he doesn't really know much about warfare.
Maybe you should educate us.
The issue we are talking about in Darfur, the issue is not about warfare. It's about calling it genocide. There's a difference in labeling a warfare, genocide, conflict, genocide. Is that you call it civil war or genocide? There are supposed to be number of casualties before you can consider something warfare. I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There must be a number of particular
number of casualties before you can say this is a war. This is war, or this is violent conflict, or this is civil war. And because you can see the issue of Syria.
So have we read the number of casualties?
Yeah. It is warfare. It is warfare. What is happening in northern part of Nigeria is warfare. But now, let me quickly react to it. You see, when we are talking about conflict, when you are in the battlefront, you don't have a timetable that you are going to win or are going to lose. Nobody can predict that Boko Haram will suffer very heavy loss in Kodunga.
But here is the point, Rocco. I'm sorry to be cutting in on you.
Yeah.
You just had her now, and she said the government had been hyping us. We agree that we cannot predict, but how come they keep letting us reassure you that we are going to have elections?
Let me tell you something. The situation of December last month, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, it's not the situation of 10 months ago in terms of insurgency. It's not. If you look at what is happening now, nobody can predict that Boko Haram is going to be losing compared to what happened 2 months ago. Now, what I'm trying to let you understand clearly is this, that she said something about why Chad just coming in. Have you forgotten how many times Nigeria has accused Cameroon and Chad and Niger of not doing enough in supporting this counter-terrorism? How many times have Nigeria reported Cameroon and Chad to AU that terrorists you are harboring terrorists in your country? You see, Nigeria will attack these people. How did they just Sambisa forest? When they declared in state of emergency in 2013, if you remember, there was all out attack. There was all out attack, and started chasing them out. That's when they chased them out from Ethiopia and other places, and they cornered them in Sambisa forest. And most of them ran away to Chad, Niger. But we cannot cross border because there is sovereignty and there is rules of engagement. Now, if we cannot chase them across the border, you that they are hiding your border, you are not doing anything about it. Look at how Kony, the LRA, the Lord Eastern Army of Uganda, was defeated because governments that surrounded Uganda, countries, are collaborating together to defeat them. You cannot. If you think the problem is not your problem, when the Cameroon started joining us, is it not when they can kidnap the vice president of Cameroon? Like they started attacking them. Now they attacked Niger prison yesterday. Now it's becoming their problem because the people that you thought they are not your problem, you do not respond when you are supposed to respond, then definitely it's going to become an issue. Now it is not Nigerian fault that this country did not want to wake up to their responsibilities. But Nigeria continue. It takes diplomatic bilateral agreement and diplomatic measures. It's not just something you just sit down and have a tea and paper. People have to consider the impact of them taking part in war on terror. Look at Australia, look at Jordan, look at other countries that are partaking in coalition against ISIS now. ISIS is now attacking them. There is a terror attack. There was a terror attack in Australia just a few weeks ago. It was because Australia is participating in coalition against ISIS. You see, you have to understand that country do not want to partake in your war on terror if he doesn't really attack them. But now they sign a pact and we are now having a coalition. My own argument is, I'm not saying whatever the government, they have a whole year or 2 years or even 4 years to prepare. But we have this window of opportunity. All these countries have come together now. They are attacking from right, left, and center. Now we are winning. We cannot. We're supposed to be debating that we are winning. This is not the issue of political issue. Chadian killed like 200, Boko Haram, Cameroon killed 115, Nigeria Army killed 120. When you are hearing that kind of stories, that they are suffering heavy casualties, then I don't think 6 weeks is going to be so much. We need to push them back. We need to decimate them, make them reduce their capacity. We cannot defeat Boko Haram in 6 weeks, but we can reduce their military capacity significantly and push them back to the corner. But if you are saying now that the coalition that is coming, we should not demobilize our army to go and conduct election when we have the opportunity to maintain this momentum. There's no argument. It's not about whether they promise or not. Conducting warfare is beyond what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow now Boko Haram can start winning. That is warfare. It depends on what is happening on the battlefront.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll take a break now and let us find out what we brought to you from the streets. What are the people's reaction to this election shift? Afterwards, I'll come back and discuss more with Edem and Rob. The program again, Leadership 360.
Concerning the postponement of the election, I think, to me, I want to believe it's political because the election date has been set. I want to believe it's last year, probably. And more also, the government of the day, they were aware of the insurgency that is happening in the northern part of the country. I want to believe they should have made a provision for that on the aspect of the security, which they claim now that is as a reason of the postponement. And if you will agree with me, every one of us know now that Jega will commence on his leave by 1st of March, meaning that will lead to a terminal stay in the office by June. Are you with me, sir? Now the election is being stipulated for 28th and 11th. Going by that date with Jega calendar in office, meaning Jega will not be on the ground to conduct the election. I don't know, maybe you agree with me. So what are they telling us? What are they telling us? But I only want to believe that the election and what Nigerians are waiting for is change. And I don't want to believe that they can come up again with any excuse of security or anything. But the election is going to hold. That's my name is
Aderopo. What's your opinion about the postponement of the election?
Actually, it's not really good. To me, it's not really good because all the people they are ready for the election to vote and to make their choice. But now they've killed the spirit in within them. Because by saying they've postponed the election, they are just like, wow. So the spirit is not more, their morale is not more high as before now. Secondly, because of the election date, which was chosen before, some people have postponed their wedding ceremony or any other ceremony, something. They've postponed it to the next week, following week. In fact, one of my cousins will be doing a wedding on that date. But now it's so unfortunate. We have to postpone it due to that. So I see it as something that is not supposed to be. Politically, I know they are trying to do one or two things. Talk about security. There have been always been security. Security is there, definitely. But you know, if they want to do this, they just need to do one thing or the other just to postpone it. Because I don't see any reason in postponing this election. To me, I don't see any reason to postpone it. Either you postpone it till 28 or you do it now. It's still the same thing. Those people that will vote will always be there to vote.
Do you think that the voters' cards will be ready for that time? One of the reasons is that the voters' cards are not ready. So do you think all these voters' cards will be ready for the election?
No, it can never be ready. Even if they do it today, it's not all the voters' cards. It's not all. Even if they do it next year, it can never be all. Because they will just it still remains. Even me that I'm talking to you, have not taken my own voters' card, so I can't say it can be ready. Because you know we are large, the population, it's a population and some other things. So my own personal knowledge, it's not. So they're supposed to have to do what they have to do on this February 14th. Let's just forget about it. But now it's so unfortunate. We have no choice. We have to follow their rules.
Let's pray for Nigeria. For that Nigeria will be better off.
Yeah, surely. Nigeria will be great.
Thank you very much.
Una don ready?
We don't ready.
Omo, we full ground now.
Make we turn up.
I am make we turn up. Turn up.
Turn up.
Let's go.
I turn up.
Let's go.
Turn up. Yes, so.
Oh yeah.
Turn up.
Let's go.
You not turn up. Come down for what?
I turn up.
This is what we do.
All the time. We turn up to vote.
Una don ready. Make we turn up and vote.
Let's go.
Welcome back. This is Leadership 360, and with me in the studio tonight is Edem Osai, a legal practitioner and a policy analyst, and I also have Aderopo Egbeleke, a peace and conflict resolution expert. before we went on the break, we were discussing the pros and cons of the election shift. And the two of you, just as you had seen, people on the street talking about how they felt about the election shift. One person was even speculating that before the 6 weeks, Jega would have been removed and things. Edem, you as a legal practitioner, I always like for us to look at things because, like they say lawyers are the trouble of the society. What are the implications? Given what that man just said, that Jega would have been removed before the end of the 6 weeks.
Well, let me start by saying leadership or governance is basically about leadership. Whether you're managing the resources of a set of people or whether you're leading them to a certain, to achieve a certain developmental goal or vision. And what really is leadership? You're influencing people, so people must trust you.
Yeah.
Now, a situation where a government says something and constantly shifts position does not inspire trust. Those are warning signals for a nation. And what you're basically hearing are the frustrations of people who do not feel that they can trust their government. Governance is about people. A lot of people come and talk about technicality, they talk about institutions, they talk about laws, but you must be able to filter through, in law we call it lift the veil, to see who in the end is at the receiving end of all of these decision-making processes. It is that man, that common man in the street. He must be able to trust as far as, regardless of how separated you are in terms of institutions and, people between you, but he must be able to trust that man who governs his affairs. So one thing I know has been, in terms of damaging the psyche of what this election shift portends, is that you see it has further broken trust between the citizenry and government, and it's something that we must always be wary of. Now, returning back to the direct issue you talked about, which is speculations now that the INEC chairman will be removed, or whether he will have completed his tenure as at the time when the new dates arrive. We know that he is expected to retire. I think it's in July.
June 13.
And yes, under public service rules require that you go on a period of terminal leave before
3 months terminal leave.
Before you go, you actually retire. This is a man who is already serving a second tenure as an INEC chairman. He has done it once before. He has conducted the 2011 election. This was supposed to be the second time. I don't foresee a situation where they will extend it, the possibility of extending it again for, that is assuming, once his tenure is completed, a situation where they will extend it for him to conduct future elections, possibly 2019. So that doesn't seem to be on the tables. Secondly, this situation presented that suggest that, he might have even hit the period of terminal leave prior to the date for elections. These are things that throw up all sorts of speculations, all sorts of doubts, all sorts of fears and frequencies. And essentially, one thing I realize is that, the man who makes the decision is always a step ahead of the person who is the recipient of the decision. So in the sense that we are just the ones speculating now, all of these things are considerations that were on the table when they made that decision to postpone the elections. They would have known all the ramifications. What are the potential effects? Okay, wow, the man who is currently heading the INEC portfolio, the time that we are putting in place, there's a likelihood that it will clash within the period that is expected to go on. All of those considerations would have been made. So one therefore begins to ask the question, if you knew that, if you were aware of all these possibilities ahead of time, don't you realize that the burden therefore was much stronger on you to do everything necessary to ensure that these elections were adequately prepared for, especially when cries of the public came well in advance, to tell us that there are certain challenges, there are certain issues that may not have been well addressed, such that you should have looked into those issues well ahead of time to prevent this sort of dilemma, because we're faced with a dilemma. Do you now suddenly place a new, chief? Although we don't know the final outcome of this whole process, we don't know whether the government is going to say, in the wisdom of the situation, the best decision to make therefore is to allow the land to conduct the elections before. We don't know. We're in the realm of speculation. But my point is, it's wrong for a nation to be thrown into such, confusion or uncertainty. People plan, even there are economic implications to this thing. There are investors who want to come and put in money here, but they are like, let me wait until we know the situation of the election. There are people who have been applying for jobs, and employers of labor are telling them wait until the outcome of elections before. So essentially, people are not really putting any projects, any things down right now. They don't want investments to go, kaput. Nobody wants to really put anything solid or tangible on the floor right now until the whole uncertainty in the air is cleared up. So we should really avoid uncertainties. When nations predict or put dates for elections, you don't shift it on feeble excuses or feeble. That is when I say feeble now, things that already you were notified about and you ought to have addressed the situation over. So those are some of the issues. I don't know what decision they will take concerning Jonah. It's a matter that we're all speculating over because it's suddenly it's a doubt, it's a real doubt. So we don't know.
But thank you very much. Rocco, if I may ask you, I guess you listened to the press conference of the INEC chairman, Professor Atayo Ujega, and the reasons he adduced for the shift in the election. It was very clear that the reason Prof adduced was basically security. He said he had been advised by the security chiefs and it is better to heed such advices. Now, given that such advices are now heeded, we have the third rep saying that it is a ploy on the part of the government, you understand, not to maintain conduct the election. But I also want to add and quickly ask you this, that in 2011 we had a shift.
Well, I think, you see, in everything we do in life, we need to be informed, and informed mind is an intelligent mind, and uninformed mind is an informed mind. You see, the major stain on the administration of Jonathan that nobody can come out to defend is insecurity, especially the Boko Haram. Now, for me, I think all these things is political statement, because when you listen to the statement of Buhari yesterday or 2 days ago, like I said, saying Nigeria is reduced to a failed state. Of course, I don't want to go into that. Maybe he doesn't know the definition of what failed state means. But of course, Nigeria can go into failed state if Boko Haram.
I wouldn't want you to say that because General Buhari is a retired general.
Well, as an academic, I know what failed state means. Nigeria is not close to Somalia. It's not close to failed state. I understand that might have separatists. Are you telling me because there are separatists of Chechnya in Russia? Russia is a failed state, or in Sri Lanka the Tamils, Tigers, they are failed state because you have the people that are trying to cause problems with rebels or FARC in Colombia that make Colombia a failed state? No. We have terrorist groups around the world and people should understand that we are talking about Boko Haram, number 2 after ISIS. It is not just a local thugs, ragtag, terrorist group. We are talking about international terrorist group. And you see, the problem I have here is that people should understand that yes, I came from Netherlands. I live in Hague. I came here to come and perform my civic duty. I bought my ticket. I spent money living here. I'm supposed to go back first week of March. And I'm going whether I like it or not. I'm not going to vote. But I don't see myself coming back 3 weeks after. It's not visible, it's not economical. I have people that plan wedding. I have people that plan a lot of things. But this election affects everybody. But we are talking about, we have an opportunity that nobody ever dreamt of. If it's not the federal government's fault that Chad, Niger, Cameroon did not do what Germany, France and Spain will do for UK in fighting terrorism. They did not do that. When we are supporting other countries, when Mali had their problem, the Tuareg rebels,
but can I cut in short?
Yeah.
You heard Edem when she was speaking, and she was saying, she mentioned it and she underlined it. Trust. Does this breed trust? The government is no longer being trusted.
You see, it is why they cannot be trusted is that you will not see the video of Nigerian army defeating Boko Haram going viral online. How many, all these victories that we have been recording for the past 2 weeks, how many do you see online? But you continue seeing Boko Haram defeating Nigerian army going viral online. You will see the opposition party making statement of it. Are they praising the Nigerian army winning the Boko Haram battle for the past 2 weeks? Are they even giving comments that is moral booster? You see, when you are playing politics with national security, it becomes very, very, it angers my heart. How can you see? There are a lot of reasons that you can use to campaign against the incumbent administration, and you will still lose. And there are a lot of reasons you can use to campaign for him that you will win. But when it comes to national security, you don't play with it. It's very, very cogent. And also, when you're talking about trust, it is a very simple thing. You see, Nigeria, whether you like it or not, when you're talking about trust, go and conduct this interview in South. They go to Vox Populi in Southeast and see whether, you see, when I conducted my research on Boko Haram, rethinking Boko Haram, the contending perspective of Nigerian diasporas and the youth, you can search it online. It has been published and was listed as a source by another school of the United States as public source because it was well researched. My finding shows that Nigeria has been divided.
How much will you pay for these adverts?
No, I'm not advertising. You see,
Anyway,
my findings have shown that Nigeria has been divided a true ethnic line.
Okay.
When I was conducting my interview, an average south and southeast consider Boko Haram as a political conspiracy plot to frustrate Jonathan government. An average northern government consider it as poverty and other things. So there is different narratives. Are you getting me? So when you are talking about trust,
okay,
it depends on the narratives. It depends on the narrative that you have that will make sure that you get your trust.
Edem. so you just had it,
Yes.
and thank God you are a Southerner, and you also have your own narrative. Do you agree with him that it is you are being sentimental about this issue, or are you overtly being sentimental? Is it because you are a woman, or is it because you are a Southerner? Even if you are a Southerner, all you have been saying does not seem to be in support. How would you react to what he just said?
Well, it's also unfortunate that Nigeria has been, thrown into the kind of situation that we're witnessing at the moment, where tribal and religious, affiliations and alliances, govern our thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
People are no longer able to separate, some of these sentiments and really objectively look at an issue. Now, like you rightly stated, assuming I was bowing to the South sentiment, then, regardless of what the activities of the government are, I would, be unalloyed, I would devote my unalloyed support, endlessly to the government. But, one has to rise in terms of reasoning above such sentiments. You have to look at what are the, essential obligations of governance, and are you delivering? Are you delivering them as efficiently as you should? Nobody is criticizing a government and saying you haven't done anything. But you see, activity is different from productivity. In the end, you see, what is the tangible in the life of that man? That is what I look at. Perhaps it's the welfarist or socialist, tendency that one might possess. But I like to remove myself from a textbook situation, but look at the real lives on the ground. You talk about a northeastern warfare or insurgency situation that has resulted in over 11,000 people displaced. You talk about military efforts that are consistent, but yet not realizing the outcomes that we all desire, and constantly, villages are being ransacked, young boys are being beheaded if they refuse to join this insurgent groups, women are being chased out of homes, children are being murdered, so that is the bloody reality on the ground. And whatever the situation is, one is saying that whatever tactics you're employing is not commensurate to the level of enemy, what this enemy actually portends. Unfortunately, what I foresee or what I see in the Nigerian situation was there was a misdiagnosis of the problem in the first instance. What happened was, when this thing began to rear up its ugly head, or rather when this administration assumed office, like he rightly pointed out, they constructed it as though it was a deliberate tactic of the northern region of the country to embarrass this administration, rather than really looking at it as what the threat that it was. And so you see, the problem is, if you want to treat an ailment, if you misdiagnose the ailment, then you will always have the wrong prescription.
Oh, yes.
So because of that wrong diagnosis of the situation, they were employing the wrong tactics and strategies to deal with the situation. At the same time, you see the northern people too, everybody is guilty, because the northern elders constantly said the situation was just a function of socioeconomic hardships and accumulated deprivation in the region. Not understanding that these people are criminal-minded, terrorists, killing, bloodthirsty groups of people who you can still separate from the average deprived youth in the northeastern part. Not every average poor deprived youth has taken up arms to hold that entire northeastern region to ransom. So they should have been able to adequately size up this enemy and say no, and see him for what he was. But we failed in that direction, and because of that, we did not immediately even call on our neighbors as early as we should have. In fact, I don't even hold Nigeria alone guilty about this, because I recall that if you look at the United States Department, there was some issue over the Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State. One of the issues that Congress held her responsible for was her failure during her time as Secretary of State to label the Boko Haram group a terrorist group, even though they satisfied all the indices for being labeled, as a terrorist group. They had already begun to, feature all the characteristics. But she was hesitant. Until today, the president in the United States come up and hold that as an indictment against in her time of office. So she wasn't the only one who was guilty of this. But having said that, we were the ones on ground who were the ones directly affected. And this enemy kept growing. I believe that we did not seize initiative as early as we should have, but those are things that are in the past. For instance, I recall the time in February 2013 when the president of this nation had just returned from an AU summit. That was ending of January, and he came and told Nigerians that one of the reasons why the Nigerian army is not being able to adequately quell these insurgent activities is that they keep running into neighboring countries' boundaries where Nigeria does not have legal authority to chase them into. But the question immediately that individuals asked and thinking people asked was that, well, you're coming from the AU summit. You never raised this at any point in time in open plenary session. These are sessions that are public. You didn't raise this issue. You didn't cite these neighbors because I see a situation where in Africa we like.
But we are not sure. We are not sure. Mr. President is not raising.
Well, it didn't in plenary session. It wasn't raised. In open forum, unless there was a private letter.
But he cannot raise it if it's not on the agenda of the summit. But he can.
You will send a notice. We know the way this.
They can meet side by side and have discussion.
So for something to come on the agenda, because the nation would have given notice to the General Assembly that these are the issues they want to bring to be addressed at the session. So those are not things that cannot be overcome. However, notwithstanding, despite my point in all of this is that I see a situation in Africa where we like to be friends with every leader, where we like to shake hands and smile, with all our neighbors, instead of citing people for their wrongdoings. For instance, I believe that whether in terms of direct, making your environment directly conducive for these people, or by their ineptitude in adequately handling school, these countries made their own territories conducive for the operations of these guys, of these insurgents, and we should have held everybody accountable. The first summit that ever took place between African leaders, neighboring countries affected directly, was on the initiative of France. Why do we need a European leader to come and initiate this? That is the problem. And you see, the international community is watching us. We are the ones who are mopping up the blood every day from the streets. We should look. It's like a man who has a landlord over a property and sees that thieves are constantly entering my compound through a certain hole. I have to meet with my baba next door to address that. Oh, how do we come together and prevent, because they are entering from your compound? That is the initiative. So you sit down. I'm sorry, please. So those are steps that I believe that we ought to take. We ought to have taken, which we didn't necessarily take. And in essence, all these steps that are coming, they are welcome, because that is the pragmatic way going forward. We have to deal with the situation on our hands. Nobody can quarrel now and say, oh, you shouldn't launch military operations against Boko Haram. That is a self-defeatist attitude anyway. We still want these people to be gunned down. But essentially what we're saying is that, did we have to come this far before we made this kind of decision? Did we have to shift elections? And how do we take the right lessons away from this? Because that is always my viewpoint. How do we take the right lessons away from this so that in the future, this situation never arises again? You mentioned that elections were once shifted. The Constitution states only one tenable ground for shifting elections. If we have done it in times past, it was irresponsible of us. Why are we repeating it now? Because we didn't learn the right lessons from the last incident, and we must learn them now.
But you must understand that the reasons he gave then were not the reasons he gave now.
But they didn't satisfy the ground stated in the Constitution. There was no war.
Well, I think for the purpose of for the sake of the viewers at home, I want to quickly highlight the problems that why I thought it is very okay for the government to shift the election based on security advice. It's not only security advice. Let us even remove, before I say that, let us remove security issue. 700,000 adult staff have not been trained. The PVC have not been collected, even if there is no security issue. So you see advice that we should go ahead with this type of election that is not well prepared for. It's not government that has not to train the staff, so that has not to get the PVC. They have the 4 years to do that. So number one, let us even say that we have security on ground. We cannot say we are going to have a free and fair election. A lot of people are going to be defranchised. Millions of people that are eligible to vote will be defranchised. And also, let me quickly go back to the issue of security. You see, when we are talking about the gains we are making now, you said you are talking about warfare as if it is a 1+1, 2+2, and this is going to be the end result. No, the dynamics of event that happen at the war front is different. I get it. You don't know what's going to happen when you go to war front today. Now, when the government have responded very well. The first time they declared state of emergency in 2013, Nigerian army went after these people. They chased them out of the main city to Sambisa Forest. What happened? The northern elders, they started complaining that casualties, collateral damage, the Nigerian army, they are killing civilians. We are not aware that they travel to US to go and report the government to the United States. And now, UK, they have a rule, they have a legislation that ban the country from selling weapons to us. United States also, they have a legislation that ban them from selling weapons to us and their allies. You cannot offer us training. You cannot buy. You cannot give us weapons. Okay, we say okay, we are the biggest army. Pakistan have more very very strong army. Even if Pakistan happens to be a nuclear war power, they cannot defeat Taliban. You are saying that okay, why can't they? Is there no war in Syria? Is there no war in Afghanistan? Is there no war in Ukraine? Is there no war in Syria? Don't you conduct election? Do we want to have that type of election they conducted in Syria, whereby there is no vote in Homs, there is no vote in Idlib or Aleppo, where Assad is using it as a legitimacy? Or you want us to have election in Ukraine, the type that there is no election in Lugansk, there is no election in Donetsk, whereby okay, if you want us to go ahead with the election, remember that these states are opposition states, and it's even going to pay the opposition more because it's an opposition state. So, but for me, it's not about the election that matters most. It's not about the votes. It's about the security. Now we have this opportunity to finalize it. We have this opportunity. Yes, government has failed in the past. They failed. Yes, they have failed. Now we have the opportunity. We are winning. I don't care whether they have failed or not, but we are winning now. And please let everybody at home start to make videos of how Nigerians are defeating Boko Haram. Instead of us promoting, you can never see a Syrian promoting ISIS video, or you see a Pakistani promoting Taliban video. They will promote the videos of their army, of their strong soldiers that are winning the war against the criminals that are looking for 122 or 72 wagons that doesn't exist anywhere. These are people that we need to defeat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aderopo Egbeleke and Edem Osai. We'll take a quick break now, and when we come back, we'll move to issues around and after the election. Thank you.
Anyway, Olalikon Aroyin Ushuaib, and for the postponement, I think it's a very, very bad idea, to be very honest with you, because if you look at other developed countries, when they fix a date for something, they get it done. If there's nothing to hide or you're not trying to plan something fishy, why would you postpone an election that everyone has already foreseen that, oh, it's on the 14th, it's going to happen, and then you just come and tell us it's not happening any longer? So I think, to me, I think it's a very, very, very bad idea. And in Nigeria, we talk about Nigeria trying to grow, we need a change, we need everything. This is where it starts from. We are the next generation, like they say. This is where it starts from. If we cannot take care of this little issue right now, how are we going to take care of bigger issues that are going to come up? So to me, it's a very bad idea. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, to them they feel it's right.
Okay, we're going to say something. I don't mention your name and then go on.
Okay, my name is Olani. And concerning the postponement of the election, I felt probably they feel it's convenient for them, or they want to like perform their ways of magic again, or whatsoever.
So you don't have any hope in the election?
No, they have chosen who they want to choose for them.
Thank you very much.
The last segment of Leadership 360. With me, it has been an interesting discourse with Edem Osai and Aderopo Egbeleke. We've discussed so many issues, and you see, the truth of the matter about this issue is that we are divided along opinion and sentimental lines. Some people believe strongly that it is right for the government to have shifted the election, while some of us are still holding on to our emotions and trust issues that the government should have waited and should have allowed the election to be conducted. But my take is this, and I direct this to you, Edem. Now that the elections have been shifted, now that it has been said that May 29 is still sacrosanct, what do you think will happen?
What do I think will happen coming with the elections?
Coming with the elections.
Well,
taking into cognizance the fact that 700,000 ad hoc staff had not been trained before the elections were shifted. Because, you see, the charge that Mr. Egbeleke brought up is very serious. You know, when election was shifted in 2011, the excuse were unpreparedness of INEC. You remember? In fact, some of us got to the polling centers when we were told that the election had been shifted. Now, the reason is insecurity. But he forgot, whether deliberate or undeliberate, to tell us that 700 ad hoc staff have not been trained. To tell us that the staff, reg staff, the election commission staff, have not been trained on the use of card reader system. He forgot to tell us that 44% of Nigerians have not collected their PVCs, which is disenfranchising about 25 million Nigerians. How would you react, and what should we expect? What, you are a youth mentor, how would you tell the people in the world that what should they go do?
Well, first and foremost, responding to the issue about INEC and the level of preparations on the ground, I'm not an INEC staff, but I really wish they were here, because I'm sure they will have a different point of view. I can only rely on some of the opinions, some of the information that they kept filtering to us through the media. And one thing I know very clearly, INEC, the stance INEC adopted was that they were ready. Now, if I am an employer, because I always bring it back to the principle, you have to be able to break down these things and understand the rudiments of how these things run. I employ somebody to run a huge task force. And then he keeps telling me, or I keep hearing from the TV and the radio when he's attending interviews that he is ready. But feedback reaching me from other quarters are telling me, no, sir. On this issue, this is the situation. 700 ad hoc staff have not been trained. I don't know how factual that situation is, or whether it is allegations that are yet to be proved. But long and short, these are some of the feedback that are coming. What is my role as an employer? I call him because I'm paying him to do a job. You see, I have delegated. That's the principle of governance. I cannot do everything by myself, so I delegate responsibilities. INEC is my agent to conduct free and fair elections.
But they are independent.
Yes, they are independent. Of course, independent, it says that I have no control. I must not manipulate the process, especially since I am somebody who is also subject to their own passion. But where is the funding coming from? It's coming from my administration. It's coming from the way I disburse funds. It's coming from me, raising a budget and taking it to the National Assembly to defend. I am the one that defends INEC budget based on what he submitted to me. So I am responsible for the success of what he has claimed he intends to do. So whatever it is, and that's why somebody suggested, I had listened to somebody earlier who said, look, perhaps if a person who is an incumbent is, contending for an election and, the whole issue of independence of INEC rests of its head, they should constitute an independent body such that maybe that incumbent person steps aside or resigns office temporarily for 3 months so that he's not interfering with the process. But in his absence, a vacuum is not created. Somebody must still be active who is not, there's no conflict of interest. No, that was just a suggestion. But my point is, somebody must still hold that INEC responsible. If you're saying that as an incumbent he's compromised or there's conflict of interest, he shouldn't do it, then the nation must attend to his constitution to ensure that another body or another individual, another office holder is responsible to hold INEC to its promises to the nation. Now, basically, INEC, there were allegations that INEC was not ready. Somebody should have been responsible to call INEC way before a week to the elections to say, please address us on this issue. Give us proof of your actual readiness. Show me the number of trained staff. Show me the number of, and then on the subject of PVCs, what I keep saying is, look, there is my duty to make sure PVCs are available. I recall when I went to pick up my PVCs, I saw thousands of PVCs uncollected. There are some people who also analyze the situation and tell you some of those number of people are dead. Some have migrated or relocated out of the country. INEC has a responsibility to build its database to always ensure that it knows, in terms of population movement, migration, it knows who is actually on the land to pick up PVCs. We are yet to build up our database systems in this country. But even beyond that, INEC, people too must take their share in the blame. Why have people not left their homes to pick up PVCs? It is wrongdoing on our part. INEC has fulfilled its responsibility and created a certain number. INEC can therefore not be liable for those who have not collected. INEC is only liable for those PVCs that it failed to print. That is the percentage that you hold INEC liable for. And in that instance, INEC even made an alternative situation available. It said for those people who, due to technical hitches, were unable to print PVCs on the form, please come up for re-registration. I am not suggesting that INEC processes were without flaws. I suffered before I picked up my PVC, so I know that there were many areas that INEC needed to improve on their processes to ensure speedy and more efficient collection of PVC. But notwithstanding, Nigerians must also hold themselves responsible for their failure to go at the right time to pick up our PVCs. Why did we suddenly have this rush hour? Why is JEGA having to defend the fact that people did not collect? JEGA should only be defending the fact that, oh, due to our machine system, we were not able to print this number. But we tried to make sure that there was an alternative arrangement for those people who couldn't get PVCs to re-register, and we were successful to this extent. We take responsibility for, those are the things, that is the level of discussion we should be having.
But we also know that they are just bringing in the PVCs, and the PVCs are being printed abroad. We also know that they are still being printed.
What I do know is this. My PVC has been ready since the time that INEC said I should pick it up. And at the date that I went to pick it up, I picked it up. There are some people perhaps who INEC is still printing PVCs for. Maybe those are those who are affected.
Don't you know that, look, the Nigerian population is 65 to 75% within the age range of 18 to 35. Youth.
Yes.
And daily we have people who are qualifying to vote. He just said it now that he came in from the Netherlands to vote.
We don't have a perfect process.
I
appreciate what you're saying. We don't have a perfect process. For instance, I don't believe that somebody has to go through these rigors that they go through. You should have a central base or central data system that once you attain the age of 18, you just walk into a place, log in your data, and you maybe within a few short minutes you get a card. But that is, a Nigeria we dream about. That is not the Nigeria that currently exists. So let us deal with the situation that is on ground. Now, unfortunately, many people who had not attained the age of 18 sought to go and register for PVC. Some were successful, some were not. INEC has to give account for those ones that failed to register. And that is why I'm saying prior to a week to the time. Because you are responsible. There must be a body in this nation that holds INEC responsible to give them periodic updates. This is a 4-year situation that they have been preparing for. There must be a body, a council, or maybe an oversight committee, a committee in the National Assembly that INEC, that conducts oversight functions over INEC, that repeatedly calls INEC to give account of its stewardship. We did not do that. Then do you therefore hold, you give a man a job and you don't hold him accountable? You are responsible. You must take ownership for the flaws also. We did not do that. Why was there no oversight committee in the National Assembly calling JEGA repeatedly and saying, tell us, we are hearing these reports from our constituencies. We are hearing these reports from our, our voters. Tell us what steps, what steps, and what steps.
If I allow you, you will turn this show into But you see, Rocco, you heard all she's saying passionately. And I guess she is saying that, look, all of us has a part in this for the blame game. But the fact still remains that the government should have taken the larger share. But I guess you still hold your ground on the fact that no, it shouldn't be the government. My question to you now is the fact that now that we have this on our hands, security, preparedness, what would you suggest?
Well, I think I will first of all, want to pick up from what Edem said, that one, people should go and pick up their PVCs. But you don't blame people that don't pick up their PVCs, because many people believes that there will be no who's going to win the election, or what is my business in voting. Government has not done anything for me before. I have no business. Government is not feeding me. Government is not providing security. They are not providing power. They are not providing good roads. Even in our area, we are the one that is tying our roads. We are the one that is doing everything. But the question here is this: you see, we can continue analyzing the past, the problem we have encountered in the past. You see, yes, we need to look at it. If you want to look at the past, we are going to spend the next 10 years analyzing the past, because our past is very messy. But of course, we can see good things in the past. And now the election we are having now is progressing. It's becoming better and better and better every day. We have modern technology that is exposing. Our tribunal is doing fantastic. Opposition is winning tribunal. So it's not like before, whereby you say that because you are a ruling party, it's automatic for you to win. You are not going to win election. It's not sure. In fact, there is a mode of change going on. Yes, but let us now sit down and think clearly. The government came out to say we want to postpone election. They gave facts, they gave reasons. One, security, preparedness. We as a citizen, we should not be intellectually lazy, because intellectual poverty is even more greater than monetary poverty. We should able as intellectuals to sit down and look at those facts. Is it tenable? Is it reasonable? If government says they are winning war against Boko Haram, they want to maintain it, and we can assure you, we can see that they are winning. Okay, 6 weeks is normal. Now about the collection of PVC, they have extended in 6 weeks now. They have extended it to February 31st of
February 8th.
February 8th.
No, March 8th.
To collect March 8th for PVCs. Now we now have more than 3 weeks now to collect PVCs. Let people go and collect PVCs. But in my own summary in reaction to what he said is that no government can satisfy 100% anybody. There's no government that will come. Abacha did something. Who built Terminal Bridge? It's not government that. So we
Mr. Egbeleke, I wouldn't want you to tell us.
I know because he said, you know, when I'm saying this, that when she said, no, when you are doing something, you must be able to affect people's life. It depends on which area. For example, if you are a leader and you do something that will not affect me, I will not see you as a leader. But of course, you are going to affect some other people.
All right.
So in my own summary is that this election, we should vote. We should not be violent. We should be tolerant to each other. No, we cannot operate in one-party state. Because you are supporting APC or PDP or WWMP or OWA or anything that you are supporting doesn't make you a Malian or Senegalese. We are all Nigerians. So it doesn't change us. Because you support somebody today, I did not vote for the incumbent last year in 2011. And I voted for Khalifa in 2003. So it depends on our choice, and we should respect our choice and we respect each other so that we can come and discuss like this and move forward. I've learned many things from what he said, and I believe she must have learned a lot of things from what I said, and I've learned from you from what you have said. So
thank you very much.
Continue debating.
Edem, your final notes and your parting shot.
Well, final note, what I would like to say to this country is, you see, from every experience, draw a lesson. Now, we are not in an ideal situation. We don't find ourselves in an ideal situation. There's no point trading blames. Oh, you should have, you shouldn't have, you should have. INEC is the one that shifted, or government is the one that shifted. My point of view and what I have tried to emphasize on this program is, going forward, where did we err so that we do not repeat the error? We did not act in time to our responsibilities. I think some of these issues were already, alarm signals were going off far earlier, and we should have addressed them far earlier so that we wouldn't have found ourselves in this corner that we had to suddenly take this decision. In the future, when issues like this raise up their ugly heads, don't dismiss them. Don't bury your head in the sand like the ostrich and think that it will wish itself away. As a leader, whatever portfolio you bear, whatever, whether you're in the National Assembly, whether you're in the executive, even in the judiciary, when cases come before you, everybody must collaborate with top decision making. No matter how hard the stance is, but adopt hardline stance so that you forestall imminent dangers like this. Many people, many pundits will tell you that they could have predicted this outcome. But what happened was that when these alarm signals went off, we didn't respond, and we didn't respond with adequate measures. So in the future, please, I appeal to leaders. This is the duty, because you see, you see far ahead of the followers. We only respond to what eventually comes on the plate. So in the future, with the roles that you occupy, use whatever resources, whatever paraphernalia is at your disposal to prevent such imminent crisis of the sort, so that Nigeria is not pushed into this kind of situation.
Oh well, it has been a very an interesting show with you guys, Edem Osai and Aderopo Egbeleke. I must appreciate you for coming on the show. Thank you very much. Viewers at home, this is Leadership 360. Another time we'll be here. Thank you very much.
Ẹ̀yin tèmi ṣó yá àwa wà nílẹ̀ nígbàkúgbà ó yá ẹ jẹ́ ká yọ síbẹ̀.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣí síbẹ̀.
Yọ síbẹ̀. Yọ síbẹ̀.
Let's go.
Mi tọ́nà.
Tí o bá tọ́nà
Let's go.
nǹkan tá a máa ń ṣe nìyí.
Ní gbogbo ìgbà.
Àwa wà ń bí
láti dìbò.
Ṣé ti ṣe tán? Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún yà láti dìbò.
Let's go!